Maxie, I've been thinking, should we do season 3 on the Dr. Joe show? You sure? You sure it's a good idea? You know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm playing architect with my cigar here, but really I just want to see, you know, I don't know what I want to see anymore. I mean, you know, a solid, firm ash that grows to be 5 inches long is not always a sign of, you know, it depends on the composition of the tobacco, too. It's not only the construction. Some tobacco is much thicker than others. So, what am I attempting to see here? I don't know. It makes me feel good when I get a really long ash at the end of my cigar. Okay, so while I work on building my ash castle, exceptionally smooth. Exceptionally smooth. So, the Atelier blend, by the book, according to Pete Johnson anyway, it's a medium to full-bodied blend. The original line was 3 cigars, came out with 3 cigars. The LAT52, the LAT54, which we're smoking here, and the LAT56. The cigars, the blend was put together by Pete Johnson, and the cigars are made by the Garcia family of My Father Cigars. The cigars are made in Esteli, Nicaragua at My Father Cigars. Now, the special thing about this cigar, the thing that this cigar is based on, because, you know, every new cigar line has to have some sort of really unique attribute to it, right? Is based on a new wrapper that was being produced by the Oliva family. Here's the Oliva family again. Usually in our other episodes, this is a great cigar to smoke at this point. It's like a whole bunch of episodes coming together. We talked about how the Olivas helped the Fuentes, even in the development of the famed Opus X line. Well, in this case, the Olivas are helping the Johnsons. Well, Pete Johnson, to craft his blend and helping with Garcia Cigars, with Pepin Garcia, to make the cigars. It's like everybody that we covered Pete Johnson with the Tatuaje Black episode. We covered Pepin Garcia and his legacy with the Floral Antilles episode. We didn't cover the Olivas yet. That is something we shall have to get to. But anyway, moving on. Oh, there goes my ash. Almost got it down to a perfect first third finish. The wrapper is grown in Ecuador by the Oliva family. So it is an Ecuadorian wrapper, an Ecuadorian grown wrapper. And it is a hybrid cross between Criollo and something called Pelo de Oro. Now, Pelo de Oro has been called many things. I've been told it translates to golden hair. I've been told that it means it's a reference to something known as the lost seed of Cuba, the seeds that were supposed to be transported over here in the very beginning when everybody left Cuba and somehow disappeared. But mostly, it refers to a crop in Cuba, a certain type of crop in Cuba, known for being very flavorful and on the stronger side. A very, very, in other words, golden hair, lost seed of Cuba, in other words, very good tobacco. All right, so they crossed this with Criollo and came up with what they've dubbed Sancti Spiritu, Latin for Holy Spirit. Now that sounds like it should be a dynamite fucking wrapper, and so far I gotta tell you, this cigar is good. This is a good cigar. I'm really liking it. And, you know, how much the wrapper has to do with that, not really sure, but combined with the Nicaraguan binder and filler, it's so far it's a dynamite stick. It's got me feeling good. It's got enough strength to it, but I'm telling you, it sneaks up on you because you smoke this and it has flavor. It has the flavor of a fuller cigar. It has the properties, you know, the mellowness, the smoothness of a more mild-bodied cigar. So you're smoking it, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, it's got some kick to it. Really, really nice. Anyway, so the L'Atelier line was the first line of cigars to use this new Sancti Spiritu. Sancti Spiritu wrapper. Very good. Palo de Oro, by the way, is something that, you know, like I said, it's a hybrid cross. The wrapper is something new, brand new, created by the Oliva family. Cross between Criollo and Palo de Oro. Palo de Oro is not something new. It's been grown in Nicaragua before, actually. And now, actually over the past year, 2014, it was being grown in Costa Rica. Felipe Gregorio actually revamped an old line of his called Palo de Oro and is offering that now. Now, the interesting thing about that line, and we've got to try it here at the Dr. Joe Show, because here's something, you know what's funny? As long as third season and everything, and it really should be like the fourth or fifth season if you count a season as like maybe 15 episodes, because if you look at season 2, holy shit, it was like 32 reviews in that one thing. What I mean by that is, with all the material and all the things we've done, Cuban, Nicaraguan, Dominican, we have yet to smoke a real Honduran cigar, and we have yet to smoke Costa Rican cigar, and Costa Rican cigars are far and few between, you know, especially over the past decade, fallen out of popularity, ignored really as Nicaragua took the spotlight. But Felipe Gregorio Cigars has created a Costa Rican Puro, a cigar made entirely of Costa Rican tobacco. So that's something we're definitely going to try later on the Dr. Joe Show. I don't care. We have to. Because while I have smoked Costa Rican cigars before, cigars made in Costa Rica with some Costa Rican tobacco, and undoubtedly a few of the fake Cubans I smoked for fun have been made of Costa Rican tobacco, it will be very interesting to see what a totally legitimate, fully Costa Rican Puro pans out like. So that's something we're going to get into. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a great season, because we are doing Honduran. That's in the works, actually, because, just as, especially once we do Oliva, it's going to tie everything you'll see how everything is connected. Oliva and Fuente, Oliva and Pepin Garcia, or Oliva and Pete Johnson and Pepin Garcia. Everything, Pepin Garcia and Cuba. Everything is tied together. So we're going to do a whole new set of brands that are tied together with themselves. I'm not going to say any names right now because I don't want to reveal all my secrets, but it'll be cool. Anyway, so that's the tobacco. That's the special, the kicker, the trump card, the thing that makes this cigar special and separate from all the other cigars is this Sancti Spiritu, or on the Dr. Joe Show, the Spankti Spiritu wrapper. With a full Nicaraguan blend. So, very, very nice so far. I think it's time to do our first third review. Let's do that. And looking at my notes here, maybe a few other comments about the company, and then we're going to get into some cigar politics. Our first third. Dynamite. I think I really spoke several different times during the episode already at what I was finding in this cigar. But just to repeat myself, to reiterate. Cigar started out great pre-draw, great light. Unlike so many Nicaraguan cigars, I did not get that, blast of heavy flavor and super spice and everything on the light. Started out really mellow, but built up flavor extremely quickly. And not that there wasn't flavor right away, there really was. But it built up some really nice flavor very quickly. Sweet notes started pouring out in the middle of the first third. I got guys contact me who, like this kind of thing, really look for cigars with a cocoa taste or cocoa aroma. This cigar's got cocoa. This cigar's got graham. This cigar's got maybe even a little honey. All sorts of sweet notes going on with a confusing base, because it's a bit earthy at times, but then sometimes it seems a bit woody. It's a little back and forth there. But the underlying note that remains constant is this really decadent floral note. Really, really, really nice floral note. And it's a little different in the mouth, on the palate, than it is through the nose. But it's there all the time, and it's really, really spot on as far as how it goes hand in hand with the rest of the blend. There's a really nice, subtle level of salt throughout, good tobacco flavor. Very, very, very faint hints of spice. If you don't like spicy cigars, you can smoke this cigar. All right? If you like spicy cigars, you may still like this cigar, because there's a little trace of it here and there. But this cigar really, I think, is going to be popular among those of us who like sweeter cigars, blends on the sweeter side. Very, very nice so far. So far, 2 thumbs up on our first third. Let's keep moving along. And like I said, we're going to say a few more things about the company. I don't know if I mentioned this. L'Atelier translates to the workshop. Okay. Don't know why they called it that. Probably a little inside thing among themselves. I mean, Pete Johnson basically said that L'Atelier Imports was a way for him to expand his, direct quote actually from Cigar Aficionado, I believe. But I'm starting to remember things word for word. His footprint in the cigar industry without stressing, and now I'm paraphrasing, stressing the Tatuaje brand, which, according to him, is already at capacity. I would personally say, yeah, it's at capacity. I can't believe that it hasn't seen any kind of quality issues whatsoever, because I smoke them all the time and it hasn't. There have been better batches than others, but it's never really suffered. You're talking about a line, a standard line alone, with frickin' over 10 vitolas. You're talking about all those vitolas being produced in reserva sizes. You're talking about the Cajonu line. You're talking about the Havana 6 line. You're talking about the Monster series. You're even talking about Cabaguan, which is produced under all the same things, so it's really part of the Tatuaje company. A lot of cigars. Cabaguan. Don't want this baby to go out. Then you're talking about Cabaguan Maduro. Then you're talking about... I could go on. Oh, then you're talking about La Verite, the Verite releases. All the special production releases. You're talking Tatuaje Black. You're talking... Tatuaje, without breaking down all the different lines, as a whole, is tremendous at this point. It's busting at the seams with vitolas and blends and every fucking thing and monsters. And there are so many monsters that I don't know what they're going to do next year, because now they're starting to use it. They didn't do the Freddy Krueger yet, did they? I bet you he's next, since they did the Jason. Anyway, a lot of cigars. I'm proud of you, Pete. That's living the dream right there. But anyway, he did not want to add any more to the Tatuaje portfolio. Didn't want to stress it out any. So Atelier Cigars is perfect, because not only does it not add new cigars to the Tatuaje assembly, the Tatuaje army, but it also keeps him out of the picture as far as having to deal with day-to-day business operations. You have 3 other guys who I'm sure are all very capable, if Pete picked them, to do all this different stuff, and who knows what kind of behind-the-scenes talks they've had and where they're going. But I think, judging by this, there should be some very interesting cigars coming out. Now, this is going to bring us down a rabbit hole into what I just said before, some cigar politics. And I know I said we'd never talk politics on the Dr. Joe Show, but I didn't say we wouldn't talk cigar politics. And by politics, you know, I don't mean liberal, conservative, that type. I don't mean that type of thing at all. I mean cigar politics. Issues within the cigar industry, within the cigar realm. And when I say industry, I don't just mean the industry. I mean the industry and including its supporting consumer base. So, we're talking some cigar politics here. And this is all going to come to a head. This is some funny stuff. Now, we're talking about the rip-off game. We're talking about what so many people, like I said, you either love Pete Johnson or you hate him depending on what side of the fence you're on. There are people who love his cigars like me. There are people on the other side of the fence who say he's a rip-off artist based on so many things. But here on the Dr. Joe Show, as always, your host is going to make some very, very good points. Now, since we're all playing the rip-off game, I'm going to do something I never did before and rip off somebody else's comment section. So I've headed over to a website with a forum here, and it's a back and forth between some different members, fans and haters, and there's actually some stuff by Pete Johnson himself in there, so it's very interesting. Say goodnight, Max.